Without any further ado, Rosa DeLauro.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very, very much, Michael, and you're generous in your introduction. I had a great time coming up to campaign for you, and glad that Betty is here, and Tom, etc. We have I think, a wonderful, strong vanguard of folks who are committed to this Trade Act, and a new way has been said of looking at trade. So I thank you all for your leadership. You know, for many years we've fought against inadequate agreements that really have left consumers, workers, the environment, and local economies at risk. And this is a fresh start about doing it right and mapping out a fair way to move forward on trade. I chair the Agricultural Appropriations Subcommittee, and I've worked in recent years to give regulatory agencies like the FDA the tools that they need to deal with the rising flood, really. It's not a tide, it's a flood of imported food products. But to truly address food safety threats, we have to change the way in which we negotiate trade agreements. Today, we import more than 80% of our seafood. 33 billion pounds of fresh produce is imported into the U.S. annually. FDA officials have stated that half of all foodborne illness outbreaks in the U.S. of FDA-regulated products have come from imports. It's clear. Decisions about the importation of food products are a public health issue that have to be taken into account in any trade discussion. We need to embrace through a thorough assessment of an exporting country's food safety system before its food products can be imported into the United States. That means evaluating its food safety laws, its regulations, the enforcement of those laws, and its laboratory and inspection programs. And that's why this bill is so critical in my view, in particular Section 4, which highlights food and product safety. If an agreement contains health and safety standards for food and other products, then it must meet or exceed U.S. standards with respect to food safety. The legislation calls for the Commissioner of the FDA, the Consumer Product Safety Commission, to assess the regulatory system of a country with which we are negotiating with, to determine whether it provides the same or better protection of health and safety for food and other products. And if it does not, then we can prohibit the importation of food and other products from that country into ours. This is the opportunity to build a new model for trade in an increasingly global world economy, and at the same time to protect our public health. And by requiring a review of existing trade pacts and submission of a plan by the President to fix these agreements before new trade negotiations or congressional consideration of pending pacts, we can ensure that more people reap trade's benefits while protecting others from growing risk and insecurity. You know, for too long, our so-called free trade policies have come at great cost. At great cost. We paid a great price in the form of offshoring, downward pressure on wages, damage to our environment, loss of family farms is great, dangerous products on our market, and today we have an opportunity to get this right in a way that benefits most Americans and our trading partners. It's possible. This legislation provides us with the framework to do that. And you know, I will conclude. If we are going to continue to align food safety with trade and not make the separation of the two, then I'm of the view we need to separate the two pieces, and with an FDA, take food safety out of there and do it someplace else. But in the meantime, let's examine all those past treaties. Let's look at the next crop of treaties that are coming up and make sure we don't have our feet in concrete when we discover that there are food safety issues, and then we can no longer turn it around because they can go to the WTO and get the issue adjudicated. Let's stop that process, and I will tell you what I'm going to do in the subcommittee. We're not only going to take a look at the equivalency system that occurs now, we're going to do a hearing, but in fact, we are going to bring in the Colombia and the Panama Treaty and look at it in terms of trade and food safety. We're going to open up another chapter with regard to these trade issues. Thanks very, very much.